the WIFA board to order. Yolanda, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Sorry. David Beckham,
Present.
Ted Cook,
Here.
Buchanan Davis, Patrice Horseman,
Present.
Pete Kim,
Here.
Richard Lunt, Sue Montgomery,
Here.
Tim Tamure,
Here.
and Jonathan Lines.
Here.
Thank you. Quorum is confirmed for voting members. Now calling on non-voting members. Tom Bushatsky.
Colin Wilgenstall for Tom Bushatsky.
Thank you. Ray DeCiccio, Gail Griffin, TJ Shope, Lauren Cuby, Robin Saeed, Stephanie Stahl-Hamilton, and Sandra Watson. Chairman Lines roll call is complete.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to agenda item number 2, disclosures of conflicts of interest. If any member would like to identify and disclose a conflict of any item on today's agenda, they may do so at this time. Do we have any conflicts of interest?
We haven't received any, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Agenda item number 3, recommendation of hire for the WIFA director position. On January 23rd, 2025, the WIFA board had an opportunity to interview 7 highly qualified candidates to be the next WIFA director. 2 weeks later, on February 7th, 2025, the WIFA board discussed those candidates in executive session consistent with Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.03A. The board members have had an opportunity to think on those discussions over the weekend. My recommendation for the WIFA board is to enter executive session again for any additional discussions before possibly taking action in open session. Accordingly, I entertain a motion to enter executive session for agenda item 3 pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A1 to discuss the candidate's potential hiring and pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 to receive legal advice. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, this is Pete Kim, so moved.
Tim
Do I have a
Thomas.
second? We have a couple seconds. We'll go with Tim's. We have a first from Pete, a second from Tim. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do we have any abstentions? If not, the motion passes and we will adjourn into executive session.
Mr. Chairman, this is Sue Montgomery. I apologize, but I do not see an invitation in my email for executive session. And I may be missing it, but usually they're right in
Send
front.
it to you, Sue.
Thank you.
Yolanda, can you hear to send that out to everybody again real quick?
Yes, I can forward it now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
See you there.
Can you guys hear us all right now while we wait for the others to?
Hey, Yolanda.
Yes.
Yolanda, I'm seeing that Patricia's trying to get in on the Teams meeting again. So she's using the wrong one, I think.
Okay, I'll shoot her a text.
Thanks.
Would you just text her, right?
All right, Patrice is on. I don't see Richard or Buck.
I see Richard.
You see
Oh.
Richard?
No, I see Jonathan. I lied.
Okay.
Sorry, little computer glitch. Back on.
Richard's trying to join through Teams also.
Richard is trying to join through team. We text him that. Called in. I'm giving him talking privileges.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I think that we can go ahead. Time is 3:34 and we're back in regular
Guys,
session.
I unmuted him. Richard, can you unmute yourself and can you hear us? Sorry.
I can hear you. Can you hear
Might
me?
have to do a *6 on your keypad
Yes.
to unmute yourself if you're not muted on your phone.
Can you hear me or no?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
All right. It is now 3:35. We're back in regular session. Yolanda, would you like to call the roll?
Can you hear us in the room, Yolanda and Garrett? Ryan? Anyone?
I can hear you, Tim.
Yeah, I think online can hear, but they're not hearing us in the room.
Yeah,
Can you guys hear us okay? Richard, everybody?
Now we can.
I'm here. I'm hearing, but I'm not hearing anybody in the room. I'm just hearing Tim and
that's all of us.
Garrett just said something a minute ago.
We can hear them. They cannot hear us.
Oh,
Now's our chance to say something.
Let's
We
do
have-
it, people.
Hey, Garrett.
hey, Sue, how you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Technology, you gotta love it.
Hey, Ryan,
New conference
we
room.
can all hear everybody on the call, but we cannot hear anybody in the room. And we're
Hear
trying to
me
get
now,
hold of
Jonathan?
Garrett and Yolanda.
Can you hear me? This is
Yep.
Yolanda.
Okay, we can hear you now, Yolanda, but we couldn't hear Garrett before.
Okay. He's coming back and then whenever you're ready to proceed, you can.
Okay.
This is where I'd say this never happened under Chuck.
Hey, sorry. And thank you all for being patient with us. This is the second time we've used this room. And we obviously have some kinks to iron out, so.
Garrett, can
appreciate
can you confirm that the recording has started?
Yes, sir, the recording is in progress.
Okay, Yolanda, would you please call roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. David Beckham,
Present.
Ted Cook,
here.
Buchanan Davis, Patrice Horseman,
Present.
Pete Kim,
Here.
Richard Lunt,
Present.
Sue Montgomery,
Here.
Tim Tamior,
Here.
and Jonathan Lyons.
Here.
Thank you. Quorum is confirmed. Now calling on non-voting members. Tom Bushatsky.
Colin Wogenstall for Tom Bushatsky.
Thank you. Ray DeCiccio, Gail Griffin, Lauren Cuby, Robin Said, TJ Shope, Stephanie Stahl Hamilton.
Present.
Thank you. And Sandra Watson. Chairman Lyons' roll call is complete.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to regular session. On January 23rd, 2025, the WIFA board had the opportunity to interview 7 highly qualified candidates to be the next WIFA director. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each and every candidate for putting themselves through the paces to applying for this job, to have had the opportunity to get to know them a little bit better. And we are here to make a decision today. And we wanted to recognize the quality of the applicants. And for those not chosen today, if there's an opportunity in the future, we welcome you back. Having done this for the second time, we continue to receive qualified applicants to work here at WIFA, and we're grateful for their leadership. And prior to making any recommendations, do any other members of the board wish to say anything at this time?
Mr. Chairman, Sue Montgomery.
Sue.
Having also had an opportunity to participate in 2 of these rounds, the first one with Chuck, and then this time around, I do want to recognize as well the quality of all the applicants and the extent to which they do put themselves through a rigorous interview process with everybody. So we're real grateful for that. And then I really wanted to flag the fact that we had internal candidates, and we had Lindsay, we had Chelsea, we had Joe, and having internal candidates is just a very exciting thing. So it says WIFA is doing the right thing by working with internal candidates and having a slate of excellent external candidates. So I just wanted to say that on behalf of myself, and I think the board all feels the same way. So thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Any other board members wish to make any other comments at this time?
Jonathan, Ted Cook and I have and this is Tim, we have our hands up.
Okay, Ted, you first and then Tim.
Thank you. So I would also like to add my voice to the thanks for each and every candidate for applying for the position, for coming to the interview and going through this whole process. I was able to participate in every of the interviews except one that I just couldn't make. But they were all thoughtful, they were enjoyable, and very professional interviews that I appreciated being able to be a part of very much. It's so important, the work that WIFA is doing, and we've heard the term, the tone at the top, and so it is very important. Everyone in WIFA is very important, but the tone that is set by the person that we choose as our next director is so important, and we were able to make will be able to make a good decision based on the quality of the entire candidate pool that we had. So thank you very much for playing your part.
Thank you, Ted. Tim.
Thank you, Chair. What I'll just add to that is, while we had incredibly talented candidates, and I think as a board, we expressed confidence in more than one of them as being fully capable of doing this job and would have had our full confidence going in. I feel very good about the candidate that we'll be recommending, and that person I think can count on our board to be a great partner moving forward and advancing the mission of WIFA. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Tim. Any additional board members? Okay, at this time, wanted to say that the WIFA board had continued discussion on the candidates today. And based upon these discussions and the discussions from February 7th, 2025, the executive committee is ready to make a formal recommendation to the board for a vote. And the name that we would put forward for a formal motion is Chelsea McGuire to serve as the director of WIFA.
Mr. Chair, this is Tim. I'm happy to make that motion.
Would you make the motion then to authorize the chair to enter any negotiations and agree to an employment agreement with Chelsea McGuire according to the terms discussed in executive session?
Yes, that is the motion. Thank you.
May I get a second?
Mr. Chairman, this is Pete
Richard
Kim. Second.
I'll recognize Pete first and then Mr. Lunt for the tertiary approval.
Him
All right.
before me.
We have a motion and a second. Can we do a roll call vote, please? Yolanda, would you call that out?
Yes, Mr. Chair. David Beckham,
Aye.
Ted Cook,
Aye.
Buchanan Davis, Patrice Horseman,
Aye.
Pete Kim,
Aye.
Richard Lunt,
Aye.
Sue Montgomery,
Yes.
Tim Tamur,
Yes.
and Jonathan Lyons.
Yes.
Chairman, roll call is complete.
Thank you very much. I will reach out to Chelsea and get that ball rolling. We wanted to congratulate her for being selected at this time. And we can give Chelsea the opportunity to say something right now if she is present. And I can't see the whole board or the whole room. There she is.
Perfect timing, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one too. Where's the one that's back up? Okay, that's a little better, I think. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, board members, first of all, thank you so much for the vote of confidence and the trust that you've placed in me to lead this organization. I've said to multiple of you many times, I'm a true believer in WIFA's mission. I believe that this organization is going to be the thing that brings new water into our state, that brings rural water security to the communities that need it, and that help everybody in this state use water as effectively as possible. So appreciate the confidence that you've put in me, but also want to acknowledge the incredible quality of, especially of my fellow internal candidates. We are in extremely good hands. And one of the things that you'll hear me say today, and you'll hear me say it later, is that we are Team WIFA. This is not a one-person organization. This is an organization where we work as a team. We complement each other. We fill each other's weaknesses and we complement each other's strengths. So I really look forward to continuing to work with this amazing team. Appreciate this opportunity and I'm very excited for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. Congratulations. Golf claps all the way around. All right, we will move on to agenda item number 4, call to the public. This is the time for any additional public comments. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Have we received any requests for public comment? Garrett?
Chair, we have not, and there is no one in the room.
Okay. Agenda.
I mean, there are people in the room. Would anyone in the room? That's a no? Okay, sorry. Yes.
Okay. Agenda development. This is the opportunity for members to identify any topics they would like to be placed on an agenda at a future meeting or any topics that the board would like to identify. Do we have any topics or anything to add to a future agenda?
Mr. Chairman, this is Sue Montgomery.
Yes, Sue.
I don't know, it's probably premature with so many things changing, but with the administration, but one of the things I would be interested in is sort of a rundown on how the first number of executive orders and days that we're dealing with in terms of this administration might be affecting any of our WIFA projects, but also just kind of generally the concerns that we have about infrastructure costs and are there rising infrastructure costs? Are we having infrastructure projects, not really necessarily just WIFA, but throughout the United States and in the West? Are we seeing, concerns with shutdown or slowdown of infrastructure projects? It's a very general thing. I don't think it's dialed in right now for purposes of a presentation, but with so many moving parts, I think all of us are probably concerned about making sure that important water infrastructure projects are not being delayed or hampered.
Thank you, Sue. I think that's a worthwhile discussion and maybe not to agendize for next meeting, but maybe we give them a month and a half or month and a couple of weeks to be able to put something together, and we will call that to Chelsea's attention so that she can make that assignment internally and we can put together something.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know how, it seems like a hard task, but it's certainly a topic of concern. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any additional items to be placed on a future agenda? If not, we'll go to agenda item number 6, and that's the next meeting, and that will be Wednesday, February 19th at 9 a.m. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time and your talents and your dedication to this board, and have an amazing rest of the week.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, and thank you for your leadership.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the support.